You're welcome to another time here with me on Life Script. It's an amazing moment. This is Valentine's season where we are celebrating love. So all of our discussions are love-based because love is a necessity. So we are here, and I have an important personality with me today. So that we can digest the whole matter. Please would like to know you.
Hello, good day. My name is Speedwell, and it's a privilege to be here today.
Yes, it's nice having you around. And I remain Dynamic Precious. Yes. So today, a very important matter. People have had experiences, and we learn from people's experience where a certain guy or a lady will invest in their so-called love, like lovers. They will invest in them financially. The cocoa is financially because here we are trying to look for the meeting point between money and love. So they will invest in their partner, and unfortunately, maybe they will be disappointed. The person will not appreciate at the end of the day, and all of that. So we've heard people saying that, don't try it, don't do it, and all of that. But that is what we are here to talk about. Is it possible? Like, have people stopped investing in their partners because of that disappointment notion?
To be exact, some people have stopped and some will not stop because of orientation is the basic thing here.
Okay.
So the way you are being programmed or prepped growing up to attend to matters affects how you attend to those matters when the time comes for you to actually eventually interact with them in real life situations.
Okay.
So, like you said, helping financially, right?
Yes.
Yes, people have stopped, and yes, people will still continue to help financially. Like I said, it's an orientation, and as we've been taught, that Christ came, that God sent Christ. He gave us
right?
His own.
So He loved and He gave.
Yeah. So Christ, God Himself, is an epitome of love in its entirety. So God gave us His only begotten Son. So when we claim, or when we actually profess, or maybe proclaim that we love a person, giving should be one thing that should be
common,
ordinary in the relationship, not the communication. That's giving. Communication is the key, but giving should be as common as communication should be in a relationship, because we love God, we communicate with God on a daily basis. You love a person, you communicate with the person. You love a person, you give. Not necessarily this time finances. You give time, you give emotion, you give support, you give intellectual assist, whatever you can give. So some are blessed with funds and resources, some are not in that realm yet.
Okay. So you're saying that it is actually possible for a person to love someone in its genuine state, and you have the capacity, you have the financial capacity to help, but because of that fear of lack of reciprocation, or maybe you will be disappointed at the end of the day, you restrict your help and all of that. Is it really possible if I say I love somebody, in its plain sense, you love somebody, you have the means, and you will not help because you don't know if this person will love you to the end, or if you guys will end up in marriage?
Yes, it's very possible to have the resources and still not want to help.
Is that love?
It is love. Okay, no. There's something I always say. You don't really know a person until the person comes into a position of power, or to a position of affluence. So there are some people, the fact that you do not give, they tend to be humble. The moment they start gaining from you, you tend to be the simp. There's something your gender called guys the simp. Like his
I like this. Are you hearing that? Are you sure?
It is true, because I watched an interview from a podcast, a Western podcast, where the guy said his own mom was a single mom of three, that over time she started calling the husband that took her and the three children a sin for taking her in with the children. That real men don't take women with children in. This is just his own point of view. So he was not asked, can you now, as a man, you have the resources, can you now be charitable enough to take in the family, or a woman with her kids? He said no.
But I feel that's a total different ballgame.
It isn't, because the essence of being in a relationship and giving is all about the mindset. Like I've heard a story where a man trained a lady. This one happened in my own hometown. Trained a lady from secondary school, if I'm not mistaken, till this girl was done with school. And when she went to school, she now met another businessman. And the businessman, in quotes, had more money than this guy that trained her from secondary school down to the university. So it now happened that the businessman came and he was being boastful about the whole thing, that money is not a problem. He now brought, back in the day, he now brought in a carton of currency and asked the man that whatever he thinks he spent on the lady, he should take it from the carton. And the man he needed the money, truth be told, because calculating that amount, he would have done something more for the man. So for me, I would call that situation a blessing in disguise. The guy actually took the money without taking a cent out of the man's own portion. And he went. Long story made short, after 10, 15, 20 years, this young man became more wealthy than the man and his so-called wife. So having and not helping, it's a mindset. Let's not be distracted. It's a mindset. having and helping is also a mindset and a choice. So some men has helped ladies in the past. Some ladies too have helped men in the past, and they got to see the shape of their life. So if we're being honest about the whole thing, it's a choice something. And nowadays we have the Gigi University where he advises men not to be selfish, not to be selfless in relationship, rather to be selfish in relationship.
My God,
I understand, because maybe he's saying those things based on experience and maybe pain from what has been happened to him. So I don't think he'll be so innocent enough to come out and say, okay, this is why my mindset is like this. So that should be it. So it's a mindset something, and yes, there are people that have the resources, they don't give. Although giving is also a gift. So
that's what I even want to point out. Although, there's this point of investment, and it's still, I used to say something that when somebody gives you 15 naira when you're in damn need of it, it's of higher value than when somebody gives you 1,000 naira when you don't need it. Do you understand? So even that circumstance where the person will not be like, how much have you spent on me? So calculate it, let me give you. The person did not really have it at the initial time to help themselves. So even if they can pay back, it cannot equate what the person has done. But don't you think that there's a place of being logical even if you want to give? Because to me, if I'm dating somebody or I'm married to, we are in a dating contest.
Even married people too spend Valentine's together. So
yes, this one now is, some people say, if not my wife or if not my husband, I can spend on them. But there are still a few that will not still spend on their spouse. So that's why I'm trying to restrict it to dating relationships. Like me now, for example, I have somebody, and I know that person is capable, and I'm in need, and you are restricting. It's somehow now. So is there no place of being logical about it? Because they are real, like there are things you do that is like there are some people you just give something, that even if this person does not pay me, it will not touch you. But there are some you put your sweat, your effort, like all in, or something you'd have used for yourself, you use it for somebody else. So is there no place for being logical, like documentation,
Okay, being logical is a two-way street. Number one, the person in question is a key factor to consider. I may see maybe a pregnant woman by the roadside hawking maybe banana, and I may freely give her, let's say, 100,000 naira. To me, at that point, that is the best I can do for her, and I did it wholeheartedly without any expectation. Like I would get something more. Then imagine a situation where you see a young guy or a young girl that you are very sure this person is into drugs. Maybe the guy comes around and you're perceiving alcohol, this thing we call guguru from the person's mouth. Even giving the person the 15 naira.
Enhancing the bad behavior.
So if you're in a relationship and there are some people that date ungrateful persons, maybe you've done the most before and he or she did not even consider it as a thing. And some people have this entitlement mentality that since you are dating me, you are supposed to spend on me or take care of me. I am of the opinion, if I'm not married to you, you're still your father's responsibility. I understand. That's you're still your father's responsibility. But now the trick is now we have turned relationship now to be transactional. Some guys will tell the lady, if I'm not sleeping with you,
then you don't get anything.
I don't get to do anything for you. So the society now has made ladies to have this mindset that you need to bend to a man's rule, and the society does not empower women enough for them to know that you can actually work, make your own money, and be in charge of yourself while still maintaining a good woman mindset. But nowadays you see women, they have their money, they are rude, they are nonchalant, they are ungrateful, and they feel they can equate themselves to a man because of his money you want to spend. I have money too. You understand? So that matters now. So that's a two-way street, the person and the situation. So
that's a huge one, because seriously some people can be ungrateful.
Very.
And one trick we should use to know if you do something mini for the person and the person takes it light, is not appreciated, just know that if you do something really huge, the person will still treat it that same way, right? So I think gratitude begins even from the little things. So watch the person's behavior, the way they appreciate, if they are really, and all of that. But then yes, I have this one question. Some people treat love as if it's weakness. Love is kind. Kindness is an attribute of love, no matter what. Even if you don't give that person in the hundreds of thousands and all of that, there are still things you give, or even the money wise, that is just from you. It's not mandatory that the person is demanding before you give. That's the attribute of love, being kind. But love is not weak. But some people treat themselves being kind as though it's weakness.
Okay, to be honest, love makes you weak. If we're being honest, because let's say you're dating someone, and weakness comes in different folds and different shades and different shapes. If I'm in love with you as my partner, and I happen to see you with another man, and he's making you smile or laugh in public, I'm offended. I do not know at that moment the context of why you are laughing. But me getting offended and my countenance changes, it's a sign of weakness.
Okay.
If you as a lady sees another lady, maybe touching your man and he's all not even pushing her.
Yeah.
You get offended, and weakness comes in actions and reactions. So you tend to be moody when you guys get to the house, and you may not even want to tell him that this is what I saw, or this is what is my pain at this moment. You just expect him to supernaturally know that you are offended by what he did not know you saw. So when you check about it, love makes you weak, and the truth is, the love we have these days is just a special grace of God that we tend to have the love that is genuine now, because love in the society, let's say especially in Nigeria, this period in the world, because it was in the Western world, it was. Let's say we still have a little bit of culture and morality in our relationship, but slowly we are losing it. You see, ladies treat a man as an ATM point where she can have 5, 6, 7 guys she's dating at the same time. It happens at the same time, all for the fact that she wants to be financially stable. Maybe Mr. A is the one taking care of feeding Mr. B. And there are guys too that do these things. There's I'm just calling random names, no offense to anybody. There's Angela, there's Natasha, there's Precious, there's Naomi, there's Cynthia, there's Grace.
The list is going on.
And he tends to play his game very smoothly and just to get from this, and he calls himself a sharp guy. And when you call that, now that is not love. That is being weak. That is being weak. Like I say, it's a two-way street. That is being weak. One, like I said, it's action and reaction. What we do and how we react to whatever we see or is matter. So, but the actual love I would encourage people to share in this season and beyond is the one that is true. I still believe one man to a woman is the best way to go. I still believe that, and it's still very possible. Very possible, yeah. It's still very possible. So even if you are weak, be weak for one person. If not, imagine you're weak for 5 people, you're finished. Be weak for one person. I should be, and communication again is something that would help that weakness, because if I tend to be offended by maybe you're laughing too hard for another man, it's natural. I come to you, the way you were laughing for that guy, I don't like him. So that even if whatever you guys were discussing was extremely funny, even if it was extremely, maybe it's like a world-class joke of the century, laugh to mine better than his own. And I don't want to see you smiling ear to ear for another man. So that it should be me. And when we learn to communicate these little things, we shouldn't, like for guys, please, we shouldn't be the hard man when it comes to relationship. If you want your babe to be like your most gracious or fan, like maybe your supporter, you say it to her. Like communicate what you want to see to her. So basically, that should be it. Wow, this section has been really awesome. All right, I was thinking that, although like you said, there are different ways to do things. You know, there are some persons that when they're in a relationship with you, they want you to go out of your way to get things for them. And you yielding alone, that's weakness for me. Yielding to manipulation. Even if you're in love, there's a place to say no. And you have your reason, as long as it is genuine and you know that this person in question. Some people even ignore red flags because of maybe they don't want that to lose that person, or they've stayed too long in the relationship and all of that. So that is being too extreme, you know, being weak and not being decisive and all of that. But are we saying it is a normal thing? If I may, we have to understand that some people have this low self-esteem naturally, and I wonder who gave them that. I know it's not from God. That low self-esteem is something that, like there's a story going on in the social media about a lady that was beaten to death by the husband, and somebody said even while they were dating, he was still beating her. But somehow, I think the landlord or the landlady said, I in quote, that she asked the girl to leave the relationship. That the next thing she saw was the girl was not even greeting her again. So that low self-esteem comes from a place of fear, comes from a place of lack, and comes from a place of want. If you are loved, if you're loved at home, you won't take shit from no one. If you're cared for at home, you won't endure disrespect from anyone. That's true. So having an awareness of I am self-worth, yes, I am important, I am relevant, I am needed. Having that mindset that me itself, I'm a human being. It's enough to push you. So whenever you're in a relationship, the manipulation card, men play it, ladies play it. So it's a two-way street. It goes both ways. And the only thing that makes it to work, or the only thing that makes it to function in its full capacity is the person. If you don't know who you are in terms of quality of life and quality of person, you tend to miss the caution, and you tend to become that victim of either manipulation or control, weakness. Common sense is necessary, because we need it for daily life, because we may not hear God when He speaks, maybe because we're not listening. We may not see when He shows us the sign, maybe we're not looking. But common sense is something God has given us freely. And some, like somebody say, common sense is no longer common.
Not common. Yeah.
So some people have lost their right to have common sense. So application of common sense is very important. And paint or write out or visualize the life you want for yourself, both in love and both in destiny. Having the life written out, picture it, like have a mental picture of it, and if you're not seeing it in your physical, there's something is wrong.
Then let it go.
Exactly.
Let it go. Sometimes we tie ourselves to one particular thing and we feel like, the bed is hand is better than 9 in the bush. But then, why hold a bed that is not even worth it?
Some beds are poisonous too.
Okay.
So imagine holding the poisonous
bed. So why not let it go so that your hands can be free to catch the right one? So that's what we are saying today on Life Script, and our guest has been really amazing. Thank you so much for being around. Thank you for sharing your wisdom with us on today's section. Really appreciate you, and I hope you've picked one or two, apply to your life. Application is the key, okay? Check that your love, your relationship very well. But I hope that you are in the right one and you're doing the right thing.